Awesome. Awesome. You're welcome on board. So I'm really glad to have you guys. And it's awesome to hear from you. I hope you learn a lot from this class. Okay, going forward to the next slide. We have why graphic design. Can you also still see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, we
Awesome.
can.
Awesome.
Yes, we'll be glad if you
So,
could make it like the presentation view.
no, let me do that. Okay, what about, can you see it now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Clearly.
Awesome. Awesome. So, we are done with the introductory parts. So, let's go ahead to why graphic design. So, there are design needs across every industry. So, graphic designers have many opportunities to take on range of new and exciting projects. In computer systems, design and related services, the need for graphic designers is expected to grow as more companies continue to increase their digital presence. As we all know, startups keep on coming day by day. More companies are going online to make their business more visible online. And also, there are many opportunities for graphic designers to branch out into other design fields. Graphic designers have many transferable skills which can help them transition into later professions. So let's expect to that. The thing is, I actually started with graphic design, but currently I work as a product designer. Reason being that I have the foundational knowledge, I know the basic theories and the concepts of graphic designs, which has really helped me a lot with my UI designs. So with that being said, graphic design you can navigate to all other design fields like motion designs, like product designs, like even 3D designs, even animations too. As long as you have the founding knowledge, the basics, you know how to combine elements together, know how to use colors, you are good with fonts, it will be good. So as I said earlier on, I was able to transition. Can you still hear me?
Yes. Yes, I
So I was
can.
able, so I was able to transition into product design due to the foundational knowledge I have in graphic design. So from the introductory aspects, I heard you also mention that some of you said something about product design, going transition into product design, which is very good. You have to know the basics of graphic design for you to flourish well with UI or UX design. So what is graphic design? Graphic design is a creative process that combines the art and technology to communicate ideas. Graphic design is part of daily life, from humble things like gum wrappers to huge things like billboards to t-shirts you wear, and ubiquity none can be hold. That is, graphic design is what you can literally see it everywhere. Right from the things you wear, the things you see day in, day out. And actually, graphic design, you can never do without graphic design. It's either you are interacting with a product, you are seeing a product for the first time. Those products you are seeing or those things you are using have been designed by someone. So, and that person can be termed a designer. Whether you are a UI designer, you are a UX designer, a motion designer, all those things still involve design. So graphic design informs, it persuades, it organizes, it stimulates, locates, identifies, attracts attention, and provides pleasure. As long as all these reasons further emphasize the role of graphic design in the world we live in. As I said in the previous presentation that graphic design is almost everywhere. So what makes that design you are seeing very pleasurable and usable is how good that design is, which is left to the designer to decide. Maybe he wants to come up with a bad or good design. And as you all know, good design will leave a lasting experience, a good experience, even after the person is done interacting with your design. Possibly, if that person has a good experience with that design, the person can even involve all other person, like introducing the person to use the other design. So that's just how good graphic design is. So going forward, we have so I'm done with what is graphic design. So we have who is a graphic designer? A graphic designer are visual communicators who create visual concepts using appropriate technologies. Technologies like all the software, all the design software like Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, Photoshop, and the likes. They communicate ideas to inspire or captivate the consumers through physical and visual arts forms that include words and graphics. So as I can literally tell you that all you guys that you are here, you're actually a potential graphic designer. Am I right?
Yes, we are.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So going forward, we can now dive into elements of graphic design. Just like a chef wanting to cook a particular food, he or she must have recipes, that is the things involved for that person to cook that meal. So that is synonymous to what we call elements of graphic design. For you to come up with a particular design, automatically there will be some elements involved. Do you understand? And also design element refers to the fundamental components of a design composition. While there are no singular unified doctrine of design theory that all designers follow religiously, but we have some basic ones. There are several design concepts that approaches universal acceptance in design theory. That is, we are not bound with a particular element. That is, we are using a rigid element. But there are some basic ones that are generally accepted. Do you understand with that, what I mean with this statement? There are basic ones that are generally accepted. And we try to discuss that in the next one. So going forward. So these are the elements of graphic design. The first one here is the line. Line, you have color, you have shape, you have space, and you have texture. These are the basic ones. These are the ones generally accepted, but possibly there should be other ones, but these are the basic and the general ones you have to learn. Are you still with me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Awesome, awesome. So the first one here is line. The first one here is line. Line is the first and foremost. The thing is, I'll just try to cover the
Sorry,
theories.
sir.
Okay, what is it?
As
What is it?
green is not real time.
It's not real time. Can you see?
Yes.
What
Okay,
can you see
it's
now?
up now.
What can
I
you
can
see
see
now?
elements of graphic design.
Awesome.
But meanwhile,
Awesome. So
you
that's
talked
it.
about it before they came up here.
Okay,
All right,
sorry.
thank you, sir.
Are you able to see this screen?
I can see line then. You know, you were talking about line, but it wasn't real time as a
Okay. Okay, this is the next this is the screen for line. This is the one for line. So I was discussing the first element of graph design, which is line. I said earlier on that we have some basic ones. These are the 5 basic ones, but we are not limited to these 5 ones. Automatically, possibly, you can have some elements along the line, but these are the basic ones that are generally accepted. So the first one is line. Line is the first and foremost fundamental elements of design, which is the starting point of most designers, starting on a blank canvas. In the context of graphic design, line is defined as two connected points, space. Lines can hold many attributes such as being tipped, thin, fine. So let me just go to a design software, one of the design software I'll be using and try to show you what I'm trying to say. Can you guys see my screen? Can you see Corridor?
Yes, we can see it.
Yes.
You can see Corridor, right? Awesome.
Yes.
So I was talking about line, right? So for me to create a line now, coming. So for me to create a line now, I can just come here. I can just come here under this freehand tool, pick 2 point line and drag. But don't worry guys, I'll try to there will be some introduction to this software. So you guys can just go through it. Maybe in our later classes. Can you see this line?
Yes.
Can you guys see
Yes, we
this line?
can.
So I can add many properties to this particular line. It's either I do it, I can tick and to let me duplicate it. So this one you can see I can increase the outline for this one. Maybe I can give it 12. Let me click another one, duplicating. I can change it to something like this. And also, and to let me duplicate this, I can change it to something like this. Something like this. And also, I can also change it to something like this. Maybe I want a particular edge to look like this. I can put something like this. Or even something like this. Can you all see different characteristics of this line now? This first one has a smaller outline, which is 4.0. Can you see this corridor screen?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Awesome, awesome. This one has 12.0 outline. This one is dotted line. This one is the distance between dotted line is reduced. This one has a particular design at the edge, maybe an arrow edge. This one has different edges. So that's what I'm trying to see for the characteristics of these lines we have here. That is, line can be curved or bent, can be dashed, can be dotted, can be continuous or broken. Then going forward, you have color. Color is very important in graphic design because at times this color determines how your design will come out. Do you understand? If your design is very good, that means the color you did is awesome. If your design is bad, that means the color you did is very, very bad. So design can judge or make your design very bad. You understand? So that is why you have to take your time when you want to consider when you want to select a particular color, a particular design, whether you are coming up with a banner, whether you are coming up with a logo, whether it's the branding projects and the likes. So you have to know how to use colors very, very well. So color is the second element of design and similar to line. Color can be used to set smooth or tone of a design. And also some colors set some tone. Maybe you are designing for a wedding banner now. There's a particular color you have to use, and there are some colors you won't go near them at all. Or maybe you are designing for a branding project that deals with agriculture. Automatically, you know that maybe green is suitable because green is mostly related to agriculture. Or it depends on what that client needs. At times, your clients can come and tell you that I want you to use blue for agricultural products. Once you are done explaining to that client that blue is not appropriate and the customer is adamant on that blue, just have to use it like that. You have to satisfy them. That's just how it works. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Awesome, awesome. So for example now, we have greens and blues. Tends to have calm and relaxed appeal. Reds and oranges, on the other hand, are more powerful and passionate. You see some powerful brands using reds. You see some creative brands using orange. You see some technology brands using blue. Like people like Twitter, people like Facebook, you see them using blue because it's not associated with blue. Yeah, technology is not associated with blue. Then going forward, we have the other elements. We have shapes. For these shapes now, shapes are categorized into three shapes. You have the geometric shapes, which are your normal shapes like the circle, the square, the triangle, pentagon, octagon, and the likes. And we have organic shapes. Then we have abstract shapes. So let me go to correct the let me clear all this. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can. Yes, we
Okay, let me clear screen. So for example now, if I want to create a tree, a particular shape, I'll just pick this. Can you see this rectangle tree? I'll just pick this rectangle tree, draw it here. Can you see it now? So we have the rectangle automatically. If I want to make it a square, that is uniform sides, I'll just pick the two, then my hand will be on shift simultaneously. Okay, be on control simultaneously to have a perfect square, that is all sides must be equal for a square. Can you see? I'm holding control simultaneously, so I have a square. We want to get all of that shapes. I can just come in. You can see this polygon tree. I'll tap on it, click here. So what's the name of this particular shape?
That's pentagon.
This pentagon. So if I want to increase the size for this pentagon, I'll just come over here. Increase it to 6. Can you see? We have hexagon. Increase it to 7. I have pentagon.
Hexagon.
Increase it to. Do you understand? So that's how that works. So going forward now, you have your organic shapes. These organic shapes, okay. Geometric shapes are triangles, circles. They have certain meanings that define the graph design. At times too, there are some logic behind circles, there are some logic behind square, there are some logic behind triangle. All these things are things you have to take note of. Because at times circle, you can see that circle now. It has a spherical shape. Okay, from what I have here, circle represents eternity. That is a continuous, you can see it has a spherical shape. It represents eternity, mostly associated with the shape of the earth and the shape of the globe generally. So that's why it is associated with eternity, because it has no beginning or end. They likewise represent free movements, but are also widely used to protect and restrict. Squares and rectangles means stability. From what I said earlier on, I said square has equal sides. That is, from that equal sides now, you can associate it with stability, honesty, security, and equality, among all other things. For example, now if you are using a particular shape for a logo, so while documenting that logo, you have to tell that customer or tell that client that I'm using this circle because it is associated with eternity, it has no end or beginning, and blacks. I'm using this square because it is associated with stability, honesty, security, and equality. Are you guys following me? And also, there are some things you have to
Yes.
take note of. There are some things you have
Yes,
to
sir.
take note. Awesome. There are some things you have to take note of. Triangle in a particular culture can mean another thing. And also circle for some particular culture can mean another thing. The same thing. Square in some cultures can mean another thing. So you have to find out, you have to make your research before using a particular shape. You have to make your research to know where that your client is coming from. Maybe for example, now maybe that your client is from Europe or from is an African or possibly an Asian. So possibly there are some meaning behind this the square and circle associated with their culture. So you have to find that out as a graphic designer. That's also part of your work. Can that person try to meet yourself? Who is that person, please? Okay, thank you very much. Can that person stop? Okay, thank you very much. So we have organic shapes. These are the opposite of geometric shapes. They are symmetrical or imperfect, but necessarily comforting. The meaning of that asymmetrical is just that. Let me try to tell you the meaning of that asymmetrical. The meaning of we have asymmetric and we have symmetric. This one now they are symmetric because we divide them into two. We have equal halves at other sides. But for asymmetric designs, for asymmetric shapes now, for example, let's say you have something like this. I have something like this. Can you see this particular shape? Can you all see it? So
We can.
possibly,
Yes.
possibly if I divide it into two, I won't have equal sides. So that's what we mean by asymmetrical. So geometric shapes are mostly asymmetrical, while normal shapes, which are okay, organic shapes
You
are
go on.
asymmetrical. Okay, I'm coming. Okay, geometric shapes are asymmetrical, while these organic shapes are what? Asymmetrical. They are imperfect but necessary and comforting shapes encountered in nature. Everything that was created naturally can fall into this group, such as leaves, rocks, clouds, and the like. Then you have the abstract shapes. These abstract shapes, come on. So these abstract shapes, they are organic forms or everyday objects, even though they are not an exact representation. For example, now a stick, anything aside from organic shapes and geometric shapes can be classified as abstract shapes. So that's just it. Then going forward, you have another element is white space. This white space is you have to take it daily. You have to know how to use white space very well because this white space actually speaks a lot in your design. You understand? Your designs just have to breathe. Allow your design to breathe because when you are transitioning to all other fields, this white space is very, very crucial. So that's why I put it here, dear designer, white space is our friend. Should all make use of it because at times your usage of white space can determine whether you have a bad design or you have a good design. So let me open a particular design and you see how that design sucks. Are you watching my screen?
Yes.
Are you watching my screen? Can you see this particular design?
Yes, we can.
Can you see
Yes.
this particular design? What can you say about this design?
It's too. It's choked, congested.
It's congested.
Too broad.
Congested. Yeah. No white space here. Can you see this is a very, very bad design. The same thing with this one too. No white space. Compared to designs like this, can you see this one? What can you say about this one?
This one is perfect.
That's good.
Perfect. Very sweet. What about this one?
Straightforward.
This one is averagely good.
Yeah.
The same thing to this one too. That's a lot of white space. So you have to as a designer, you have to make use of white space very, very well. So going forward, we have white space. This is the area between design elements. It is also the space within individual design elements, including the space between typography. Despite its name, white space does not need to be white. It can be any color, can be any texture, pattern, or even the background image. White space can cause problems between designers and clients. Design theories promote the use of white space for elegance and ensuring the quality user experience. For example, now those designs I showed you earlier on, some designs are very good, which you tell that customer that you know what you are doing, you are a very good designer. While the ones I showed you that are very bad, also tell the customer that this person sucks at design and does not know how to design. Something like that, emotions like that, sir. So going forward, we have texture. Texture is the surface quality of a shape, whether rough, smooth, or soft, hard, glossy, etc. Texture can be a powerful tool to draw a viewer's attention and engage them in many subconscious ways. Certain types of texture can evoke subtle emotional responses. Actually, anything you are using on your design, any element you are using, evokes a particular emotion. You understand? From color to lines to texture to white space to the typography, the fonts you combine together, all those stuff evokes a particular emotion. The texture can be used to create balance and enhance the sense of seriousness or gentleness. Knowing how to speak. So that's it for texture. So going forward, there are some principles of graphic design. Just like these principles is associated with your rules and regulations, the things you have to do, the things you don't have to do. So that is synonymous to principles of graphic design. That is, it refers to the way design elements are used together. That is all your lines, all your shapes, all your texture, all your color, all your typography, the fonts you are using, the way you blend them together, the way you use them together is what is termed design principles. So these principles are balance, their unity, their hierarchy, their scale of proportion, their dominance, emphasis, similarity, the contrast between the elements, and also you can see that you have white space. So also, design principles are like rules, a set of guidelines based on practice and research for using design elements together effectively that the designer should follow. In the same vein as design elements, the use of design principles can either help or hurt the functionality of your design. Why there are no singular, also we have no singular doctrine. We don't follow a particular standard. Can have some set of rules varying from different design fields, but we have some basic ones as usual. So there are several design concepts that approach universal acceptance in design. So let's go on to check them out. Are you guys following me? Let me
Yes,
Yes,
know.
we are. Yes, we are.
yes, we
Awesome,
are.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you. So the first design principle is balance. The next one is proximity. We have alignment, we have repetition, and we have contrast. Balance in design is similar to balance in physics. A large shape close to the center can be balanced by a shape close to the edge can be balanced by a small shape close to the edge. Balance provides stability and structure in design. For example, now I showed you one of those designs earlier on. Look at this particular design now. Can you see this design? Can you also
Yes,
see
sir.
this
Yes,
design?
sir.
So from this design, you should know that this design is well balanced. You can see the image by your right. You can see the text, the contents by your left. And also you can see some elements just to balance things up. Do you understand? So that this particular place will not look entirely blank. So they have to fill it up with some particular shapes, some abstract shapes. Do you understand? So those are the things you have to take note of as a graphic designer. You have to know how to balance your design. This one too has this one is balanced a little bit, but can be better, sir. But we have from this design, you have the picture by your right, the contents, at least what the design is actually for. Why the flyers, posters, calendars that by your right, text by your right. Compared to designs like this, like this one now, this one is not balanced. You can see from what all you guys said earlier, you can see that this one is a very, very bad design. So these are all the things you have to avoid as a graphic designer. So where did you stop? Okay,
We're talking about balance.
balancing. All right, thank you. So we have, aside from balance, we have proximity. Proximity creates relationship between elements. It provides a focal point. Proximity does not mean that elements have to be placed together. It means they should be visually connected together in some way. So let me try to explain this proximity. For example, now look at this. Let me open a particular design. Let me open a particular design. Come on. Let's go. Documents. Let me open this design. So I have it open already. Can you see this design now? Can you see this particular design?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
So from the word proximity, you should know that this particular get it on Google Play, download on Play Store, they are combined together. So they are elements of the same stuff. Do you understand? Likewise, all these social media handles, they are separated from the entire content. That tells you that this particular social media handle, they are different from the content, which is what to want to keep track. The content we have here, want to keep track of your customers and debtors, let us help you. You understand? So this particular social media is different from this get it on Play Store, the store handles, and also this particular image we have here. So that's what we call proximity. Trying to group the same elements together. You can see that I have us technology for Facebook, us Africa for Twitter, and us Africa for Instagram. So there are elements, they are of the same element, that is, they are trying to communicate the same thing. So that's why I have them grouped together underneath this particular design. Likewise, this content now. This content is different from the social media handles. That's what proximity is trying to convey. That's what proximity is trying to convey in the designs. And also, for you to know how to proximity now. Proximity creates relationship between, okay, I already explained that. So we have alignments, allows us to create order and organize elements on a particular design. Aligning elements allows them to create a visual connection with each other. For example now, look at this design. You can see that the social media handles that are aligned underneath. The social media handles that are aligned underneath. And also we have some social media handles too at the top. This is why I put this particular host Africa. I group it together with the brand logo is because I want this particular host Africa to be more visible compared to the social media handles. It carries more importance. It is of more importance than the social media handles. For example, now you are trying to locate how you can access these people websites. Now you can just see it at the top. So that's why I put it together. So we now have, aside alignments, we have other elements, we have other principles like repetition. Repetition strengthens a design by tying together individual elements. It helps to create association and consistency. Repetition can create a reading, that is a feeling of organized movements. And also we also have contrast. Contrast is the juxtaposition of opposing elements. Opposite colors in the color wheel or value like dark or direction, horizontal or vertical. So there will be a class for color, and also while discussing color, I will lay more emphasis on contrast. How you can use a particular color for design and how it will be of high contrast with its background. Are you following me? Are you guys following me?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes,
sir.
we are. Yes, we are.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, we
If you
are.
have any if you have any question, you can just note them down. So after the class, I'll just take them on after the. So
All right.
going forward now, we have what makes you a good graphic designer. The first one I have here is active listening. For example, now a customer approaches you and they'll tell you that I want a particular branding, I want a particular banner, I want a logo for my business. So you as a graphic designer, you have to be very attentive. You have to listen to that customer. You have to be empathetic. You have to understand his feelings. You have to know how the customer wants the design to be. And also, while listening to that customer, you have to be very, very attentive. Allow the person or allow the customer do more of talking. Let them talk. They note things down. And possibly, if you have any question for that person, then later on, ask the person. And also, you have to be clear and concise. Communicate. You have to know how to communicate what you want. You have to know how to communicate what you need for that design. You have to know how to tell that customer that I want this, I want that, I need this, I need that. And also, you have time management, the ability to accept constructive criticism. This is very, very important, this criticism side, because at times you are just getting started. At a particular point, you'll be putting your design out to the public for people to see. While a particular person can just see a design and just ignore, another person will just see that design and give a feedback on that design. Maybe that feedback is good or bad. You have to accept it as the feedback is, because it is one of the quality of a good design. You don't have to be frowning or yelling at a person giving you a feedback on your design. With that, I won't let you won't be able to do or go to other fields of design. But for you to manage all this constructive criticism very well, you have to know how to be very, very humble. You have to be calm. because some people, your people giving you feedback are very harsh at times, and also you have to be understanding that they are also there at a particular point. So you guys are just starting out. So putting out your design at times is very, very difficult because I have some guys who call me that I can't put out my design. I'm scared of people criticizing me. Are you guys following me? So I'm scared of people criticizing me. So I just told that guy that criticism is part of our work. If you can't accept criticism, there's no way you will go. Do you guys understand? Are you following me?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Awesome, awesome. So aside from accepting constructive criticism, you have to be patient. You have to the storytelling ability to identify good design. And also this is very, very important. The ability to identify good design. I normally tell my students that there's no way you come up with good designs if you can't identify a good design. There's no way, never, it's not possible. For you to see this design and tell that this design is very good, that means eventually you can come up with a very good design. Do you understand? So you have to know how to identify good design. Okay, later in this class, I'll mention some tips for you to identify good design. And also you have to be very, very observant. As a good designer now, as a good graphic designer, you have to know maybe there are some possibly there'll be some typos errors, typographical error on your design. You have to be very, very observant. Check out your design before giving out to your customer. Do you understand? Maybe it is contrast issues, typographic typography issue or alignment issues. There are some things you have to maybe you are just seeing a design for the first time. You have to closely observe that design. Check out some errors and possibly you have to after checking out some errors then you cannot judge maybe this is a good or a bad design. Is this aspect understood? Are you guys following me?
Yes,
Yes.
we are. Yes, we are.
Awesome, awesome. So going forward, we have identifying good and bad designs. So simply put, any design you see that abides with the principles of design, such that all the elements on the design are well organized in a pleasing and aesthetic way, can be regarded as a good design, while otherwise the design is a bad design. So any design you see that abides with the rules, that is the principles of design, that make use of a good element, that is the shapes, the lines, the colors are well put together. You can tell that that design is a very good design. And any design you can see that this particular design is soaked up, is not looking good, the balancing is not right, the alignment is not good, the font is not good, hierarchy is not good, layout is not good. So that particular design is a bad design. So that's just how you can identify good design. Do you understand? And for it, I said earlier that for you to be a very, very good graphic designer, you have to be good at identifying good designs. And also, and I will also put it out that ensure that you see good designs every day. So the more good designs you see every day, the more better you will be. Trust me. I'm talking from personal experience. I've been designing for a while now, so I see designs every day. I criticize designs every day. People reach out to me, I judge their designs, I give feedback on designs. Do you understand? So I'll tell you that try to see good designs, try to be able to identify good design. Ensure that you can tell that this design is bad or good. Then possibly you'll be a very good graphic designer. So that's just it. So going forward, okay, from that presentation, I mentioned that I'll be talking on some graphic design softwares. Um, I mentioned that some graphic design softwares. We have design software varies. We have Cohort, we have Photoshop, we have Adobe Illustrator. Actually, the software you are using does not actually matter. It depends on how good the output from that design is and from that software is. As long as you can get the work done, you can use any software. I even have some people that use Pixel Lab on their mobile phone and they make very good designs. But I won't advise for you to use Pixel Lab. Or do you have anybody here using Pixel Lab? I'm sorry for that. Do you have anybody here using Pixel Lab?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You use Pixel Lab?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome. And also, I have some guys that use Canva too. Canva is a very good design. As long as you know all these elements and you know all these principles, it will be very fine. It will be very good. For example, myself now, I'm very good with Corel. I use Photoshop at times, and I also use Adobe Illustrator, but I'm very convenient with Corel. And Corel is getting the job done for me, so I'm sticking to Corel in time, but I can use all other softwares. In our later classes, I'll try to introduce all these softwares to you, the interface, the tools you'll be using. For majorly Corel and possibly Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator. So the tools does not actually matters. It is your output, the things you use them for that actually matters. So that's just it. Okay, thank you. That being said, awesome, awesome. The brother said he uses Pixel Lab. Pixel Lab is very good. As long as you know the basics, you know the concept, it will be fine. So with that being said, I think we are done with this class. Yeah, I think we are done with this class. Possibly, do you guys have any questions? Awesome, awesome. Go ahead. You Tosin.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. My first
Welcome.
question would be in relation to the last point you made about the tools that we make use of.
Okay.
People have argued over time that you get to get more qualities with Photoshop compared to Corel Draw. How true
Okay.
is this, based on the fact that you have worked on both
Actually,
ends?
there are some designs we see that as some design you see that are made with Corel, but you be doubting that this design is on Photoshop. From what I said earlier on, your tool does not actually matter. Naturally, we have Photoshop is known to be a photo manipulation tool from the start, but as time goes on, people started using it for graphic design, for logo design. But originally, Photoshop is for photos, editing photos, manipulating photos. Likewise, Adobe Illustrator for logos, for illustrations, for animations, stuff like that. Do you understand? But speaking of quality, I think I'll give quality the same quality to all design softwares. It depends on how good you are with that software. You can be very, very good with CorelDRAW, and design you make with CorelDRAW will be very, very far better with another person very good with Photoshop. Do you understand? Is that question answered?
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
Another question
Any other
also.
question? Awesome.
Yes, you
Go
said
ahead.
something about white space. Now, you said
Yeah.
one of the qualities that a graphic designer must have is the ability to listen to what the client wants.
Once,
Now,
yeah.
how do you handle scenarios where client gives you too many informations to put
Okay.
in your design?
Okay. Actually, there will be a class for branding, and there will be a class for handling the questionnaires you give out to your customers. So can this question wait till that time? So I can just take it up for you answer it by that time. Is that fine with you? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Loud
Welcome,
and
people.
clear.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any
Mm,
other question?
yes, sir. I want to ask a
Uh,
question.
go
So
ahead.
if a customer insists on a particular color for his or her brand that is
Okay,
not suitable for that brand, like
okay,
some food brands, they use mostly yellow and red.
okay.
How do you deal with that if the person insists that this is the color I want and it is not suitable for the kind of brand that the person is trying to promote? So what do you do? How do you deal with that?
Actually, for those scenarios, the thing is, you have to enlighten that customer first. Tell them why this color is not suitable. Then if
Uh,
that customer should persist that use this particular color, you have
mm,
to buy with that color. You've done your
okay.
best because over the years, I've been designing logos and some customers recommend a particular color for me to use. I just
Mm,
tell them that this color is not suitable for this design. And some
yeah.
customers will just tell you that go ahead with your color. The color you have
Mm,
in mind, go ahead. That's leave
yeah.
the color I told you earlier on. Why some customers will be very persistent, very, very hard to deal with. They just tell you that
Yeah.
that color, I want that color. Do you understand?
Yeah. Okay.
Any other question?
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Welcome. Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead, go
please
ahead, go ahead.
permit me to add this. Also, as a graphic designer, if a
Okay,
customer is insisting that he or she wants a particular color, you
okay,
can do that same color for the customer and
okay,
still do like two other
Yeah,
colors
your
based on
own.
what you think
Okay.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
present the
okay,
3 or 4 to the
Yeah.
customers.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that actually works. That actually works for some customers. Why for some customers? They want maybe they have a particular feeling for that color. They have some preference for some colors. Maybe use a gold color, use a brown color. They have their reasons for that color. So just have to go ahead with it. Do you understand? But it's not a bad idea for you to include it as one of the samples of the things you are doing. Do you understand? Just try to understand and be empathetic with your customers. That's the
Exactly.
main thing. Do you
Okay.
understand?
Exactly,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Because I can remember
Awesome.
when GT Bank launched
Awesome.
their brand color. I mean, nobody ever believed that you could use such color for banking industry. And here
Awesome.
today, they are still there.
Awesome. Awesome. There are some colors. Some customers will tell you that some colors you just have to go and use another color because maybe for example now we all know that red is for all these energetic brands, all the powerful brands, red
Yeah.
evokes a hard feeling like that. But you see some customers using red for for maybe let's say a perfume or a luxury brand. Do you understand? As long as that color works, there's nothing. Some designers go way beyond all these colors. As long
Yeah.
as you know the feeling, I know the emotion attached to those colors, it should be fine. Any other question? You're welcome.
Then, Mr. Azan, please, talking
Hello.
about the softwares,
Okay.
for beginners, can you recommend, because for Photoshop now, you have different um, models of
Okay.
software for Photoshop. Which of them, Photoshop Express, Photoshop CC, CS6, and which of them do you think for beginners will be more, user
Okay.
friendly?
Efficient.
Okay. I think
PS.
I'll send some links
PS.
for you to download all these softwares. I'll send some links for you to download Corridor. I'll send you a link for you to download Photoshop. I'll send a link for you to download Adobe Illustrator.
Okay.
Actually, I'm not a person that we advise to use outdated softwares. Like all these Photoshop CS5, it's outdated. Do you understand?
Oh,
So you
okay,
should go for
okay,
something like Photoshop 60. Go for something like Corridor 2020, Corridor
oh,
2021. They are the
okay,
recent softwares. Do you
okay,
understand?
okay.
So that's just it. Any
Okay.
other question?
So where do we get this link? You said you were going to send.
I'll
Is it?
send you